Hey y'all, it's Kim. I'll try to make this one quick, but I don't know if you guys have seen this, and I it just goes along with all the other rhetoric that radicalizes people in this country. But this Jamie Ratskin, that's what I call him. He's a radical leftist. Jamie Raskin says his political opposition will face repercussions for unleashing fascist chaos should Dems regain power. He says, when we come back to power, and we will, are not going to look kindly upon people who facilitated authoritarianism in our country. Let's listen to this idiot. I'll show you a few posts. I want to look at the comment section too, because I'm just like, this is just like more reason why the hell they lost. This kind of talk. But let's listen.
So I like that idea, and it's a complement to something that we need to be doing right now, which is engaging in far more work of transnational democratic solidarity with the democratic governments and the democratic movements and peoples and parties of the world.
Totally agree.
To try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us. But implicit in it should be the idea that if and when we come back to power, and we will, we are not going to look kindly upon people who facilitated, to use a word of the day, who facilitated authoritarianism in our country. That's an assault on our Constitution and on our people.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my gosh,
I like that
sorry.
idea. And
anyway, I mean, I just like, okay. It says Jamie Raskin is projecting like usual. Joe Biden brought fascism into the U.S. for 4 years. He jailed countless peaceful protesters because they caught him stealing the 2020 election and let their voices be heard. The Democrat Party is the party of fascism. As you notice, they want big government control. Anyway, it's the same people accusing Trump of retaliation. No, it's called justice. There's consequences for your actions. So if you get caught up in a court case, it's because of something you've done. We busted you for it. There was no consequences for the last 4 years plus. And so now stuff is starting to come out about some of these people that accuse Trump of stuff, or even the right of doing that. Actually, the left was the one doing it. Okay, so then here's so his perceived authoritarianism is bad, but his actual authoritarianism, excuse me, is okay. Got it. Yeah, that's what it was. That's the way it works. And then Jamie Raskin is a traitor. Yes, I believe that. It says I knew people don't like hearing this, but if we don't get accountability for the corrupt lawfare over the last 4 years, these lunatics will throw us all in prison if they retake power. I agree with that. Some of the people that are accusing, like Republicans of doing things were actually themselves doing it. Anyway, let's see. Essentially, what he is now openly admitting. Okay, we can never let them get back in power. Never. We saw what it was like under 4 years of Biden and all the control, the censorship, the crazy lawlessness, the border being wide freaking open. And now we're having hell trying to get that thing situated as far as all the deportations, because that's what most of us voted for. And that's what we want. Get them out of here. It says Dems, Trump is an authoritarian. Also, Dems, we are going to persecute everyone we disagree with when we return to power. Let that sink in. Dems are accusing Trump is an authoritarian. And then also, Dems, we are going to persecute everyone we disagree with when we return to power. That's right. It says, oh, good. So he has removed the narrative of Trump's revenge. Got it. Okay. It says retaliation is good when we do it. And this is why we never let them have power again. Yes, hopefully people will remember why the hell they voted for Trump in the first place. Because the left has gone too far, woke, left, radical, progressive, whatever you want to call it, too far. Communist, socialist, Marxist, nuts, bananas, crazy. just remember that when it's time to vote again. It says, what power? We are witnessing the most corrupt, anti American, godless, and criminal Democrat Party in American history. I fully agree with that. And then let's see, the Democrats, one is socialism, censorship, gun control, media mind control, abortion, hate Jews and whites, worships the government. Socialism, it says censorship, and this is under the Nazi party, sorry. Censorship, gun control, media mind control, abortion, hates Jews, worships the government. And then under the USSR or Russian control, it will be socialism, censorship, gun control, media mind control, abortion, and worships the government. I mean, it's the craziest thing that how they all kind of follow each other. Hello. Because ultimately, you go from this all the way to this. So, like, if you go from socialism, you have to follow like hell to try to get out of communism, and you're not going to do that because they're going to already have you disarmed. Just so you know. It says Democrat Congress members already publicly plotting to overthrow the government, not for the people, but for themselves. Money and power, everything to Democrats. This is about their cash cows being shut down. USAID, USIP, Harvard, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And then Biden's historic leadership. So, historic inflation, spending and debt, illegal immigration, warmongering, weakening military, election interference, self enrichment, cover ups, erosion of constitutional rights, crime, propaganda, and censorship, media control, dismantling of morality, racial divisions, citizen neglect, authoritarianism, weaponization of government. Yep, that's pretty much what we saw. I went ahead and reposted that just so it's on my page. It says, shame of the union, Tory loser. Pelosi rips up speech after Trump delivers optimistic vision. Okay, and then this says, accuse your opponent of what you are doing to create confusion and inculcate voters against evidence of your own guilt. Yep, yeah, pretty much that's what they do. Projection, blame the other guy for what you're actually doing. It says, MAGA is bringing accountability, Democrats wanting more of 2021 to 2024, lawfare, two-tier injustice. Democrats should never hold any high office, and I fully agree with that. MS Dems, Democrats, criminals hate America and Americans. Domestic terrorists, Democrats, criminal syndicate, masquerading as a political party. I believe that too. I don't think they should ever hold office again. It says, good luck on that, Rep. Raskin. It might be a few years, and hopefully you will no longer be the leading idiot in the Democrat Party. Best wishes for you. Rep. Raskin is turning into quite the dangerous demagogue, and the American people should pay attention to the kind of chaos he and his ilk want to loose up on our country. Everybody better take this serious because the majority of the Republicans we elect are compromised and in bed with the Democrats. Consider the lack of action taken against openly corrupt Democrats while they have waged lawfare against Trump and Republicans. I think we're effed. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people feel that way. It says, Rep. Raskin, you'll be old, decrepit, and in a nursing home when Dems come back into power, Jamie. Your night nurse will shake you awake and give you a sleeping pill every night as you have recurring nightmares of Trump dissolving the Democratic Party. The only way the Democrats ever regain power would be by massive cheating. Yeah. And then let's look at some of this other stuff over here. So, somebody said Jamie Raskin and Adam Schiff must go to prison, be treated the same way, equal justice demanded. And so this is under the Biden administration. J6 prisoner Ryan Samuel was tortured, neglected, and denied due process rights as he languished in 17 different facilities. The world is watching, and we're waiting. AG Pam Bondi would demand you make this start happening to Democrats soon. Yeah, I mean the rhetoric, the incitement of violence, even though they claim they're not inciting violence, all they're doing is they're using useful idiots. The coin that was termed, I believe, in the USSR, at least that's what people have claimed. Who knows? but useful idiot, somebody that will basically do the bidding of somebody that's kind of in power, and then they don't have to get their hands dirty. The person in power, all they got to do is just like uh whip up their base into a frenzy over something, say a few words, call somebody Hitler, Nazi, whatever, and their base will go out and do whatever needs to be done, you know. Let's see here. That's pretty bad. I mean, I feel bad for this guy. Just anybody that was treated that way. It says, I'm going to be emailing every Republican representative to file expulsion papers to expel. Oh, this is from December 27th of 2024. Whatever. I mean, basically, it's, I guess, exposing some of the stuff that this Raskin guy has done. Expulsion papers to expel Jamie Raskin from Congress. Exhibit A, you see Raskin manipulating one of Jen Lawrence 21 posts the date of January 6er to frame her look like she is a violent January 6er, which she is not. Exhibit B, Jamie Raskin led the impeachment charges against the president and wants to abuse his authority to block Trump's certification. He admitted that on video. Exhibit C, Jamie Raskin has been helping and assisting an illegal aliens in our country and wreaking havoc not only in his own district but across America. Please send me any more evidence he did that I've missed in the comments down below, or please let me know in my DMs. We need to get him expelled from Congress. I need your help. And then nothing is going to happen if we sit on our hands and knees. I don't want Congress to do the same thing, especially in the 119th Congress. Let's see what he's got to say here. I want to open this up. Oh, now that's not big enough. Let's see what he's saying here.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip.
Okay, I just want to make sure it was at the beginning.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is.
Oh, shoot, what happened?
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6th, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that. What can be put into the Constitution can
what's the 14th Amendment? Let's look it up. What is he talking about? Hold on. Google. That's what I want. Let's see. 14th Amendment. What is he talking about? Okay, the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution is a landmark document addressing citizenship, equal protection under the law, and due process. It formally defines U.S. citizenship and prevents states from abridging the privileges or immunities of citizens, depriving them of life, liberty, or property without due process, or denying equal protection under the law. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what part. Citizenship, Section 1 defines U.S. citizenship as encompassing all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to its jurisdiction, effectively reversing the Supreme Court's decision in Dred Scott versus Sanford. Equal protection. This clause ensures that all citizens within a state's jurisdiction receive the same treatment under the law, prevent discriminatory practices by states. Due process. The due process clause prevents states from depriving individuals of life, liberty, or property without following a due process of law. This has been interpreted and incorporated many rights from the Bill of Rights to the states. Enforcement, Section 5 grants Congress the power to enact legislation to enforce the amendment's provisions, which is particularly important for addressing discrimination and ensuring the rights of citizens. Oh, I guess he may be talking about all the so-called rights that the people are going to lose under Trump. Yeah, I remember when they were whining about abortion, which it was already kicked back to the states. But let's see, Jamie Raskin is now threatening foreign countries if they support Trump. This isn't leadership, it's global extortion. And just because they lost in the election does not give him the right to go around. This is several people showing this clip. He doesn't get the right to threaten those who did it, and says, "Holy shit, it's time for Representative Jamie Raskin to answer this question. Is this true? How many other people in Congress are doing this type of money laundering?" Raskin, that's what I call him, took out 2 loans. There's no sign he ever paid them. And then 2 different lenders, Barnett Mortgage Company and First Federal Rochester, erased the debt without explanation. Is that standard lending practice or illegal debt laundering for crooked insiders? That's a question. It says Jamie Raskin is a traitor and needs to be investigated. Oh my gosh, his rat skin. It says Jamie Raskin is out of his mind. He doesn't have the authority to make these kinds of threats, threatening countries that cooperate with the United States. Our president is completely treasonous. It's this high-ranking Dem Jamie Raskin threatens countries that support Trump. When we come back to power, we're not going to look kindly. Yeah, this clip is pretty much everywhere of him threatening. And then Jamie Raskin is openly telling Americans that when the Dems come back to power, that there will be revenge and retribution against everyone who voted to put Trump back in power. Guess who's making it easier to continue with transnational criminal gang members who are here illegally? These two are facilitating fascism and terror in our country. The correct judiciary will be dealt with. Let's hope so. When these people are traitors. Jamie Raskin threatens El Salvador President Bukele for working with Trump. Jamie Raskin should be charged with treason and thrown in prison. Let's see what he's got to say here. I mean, this guy.
But look, President Bukele, who's declared himself a dictator, and the other tyrants, dictators, autocrats of the world have to understand that the Trump administration is not going to last forever. We're going to restore strong democracy to America, and we will remember who stood up for democracy in America and who tried to drive us down towards dictatorship and autocracy. So I'm glad that Chris Van Hollen showed exactly where America is, and we're not afraid of any dictator anywhere.
That's not everybody in America, Dick. We don't all believe that. Let's see here. Jamie Raskin, son of communist Marcus Raskin. Oh, that's lovely. Who was prosecuted for encouraging draft dodging and later complicit in the leaked Pentagon papers. Oh, that's awesome. And perhaps Chris Van Hollen and Jamie Raskin and many other Democrats should learn something from President Trump. It's called Americans First. Check into it, Jamie boy. And then White House, we're not the same. One more, and there's breaking. This is from April 20th. Democrat Rep. Jamie Raskin has issued a warning to any foreign country that aligns with Trump, saying that when Democrats return to power, they won't forget who stood where. Interesting. Man, it sure would be good if these people started getting arrested. Let's see. Breaking Democrat Rep. Jamie Raskin has violated the Logan Act and issued a warning to any foreign country that aligns with Trump, saying that when Democrats return to power, they won't forget who stood where. Let me guess, no arrest or charge? Probably, because nobody's willing to do anything. It's ridiculous. I mean, these damn Democrats get away with everything. And then if a Republican responds because they're issuing threats and everything else, then we get into trouble. What the hell is that? Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox on that, but I mean, somebody needs to do something because these people incite violence. They encourage people to do things, and they need to be held accountable for it. Until there's accountability, I guess we're just going to be sitting back on our hands waiting for the next shoe to drop, because they make all these basic threats and we're supposed to sit and do nothing. Nothing's happening. I mean, no arrests, nobody walked out in handcuffs, nothing. See corruption out the wazoo and nothing happens to them in Congress and the government itself. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe. I guess we'll get through this because it's just ridiculous. But anyway, another Democrat man that I just have a hard time listening to anyway. I think there's nothing worse than a Democrat man. Just gonna throw that out there. The liberal women, you expect them to screech, but you don't do that with men. You expect them to have a little bit more common sense, but I guess that's not possible in the Democrat world. Anyway, y'all have a good afternoon. I'll try to at least get one of these chapter 15 or page 15 of the JFK Files up, because it's a lot of reading. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good afternoon. Bye.